Hello Scorpio, and welcome to my channel Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements, looking at your recent past, your current energy, and your immediate future, answering the question, what do you need to know right now in order to move forward in alignment with your higher self? Please remember that these are general readings and they are not here to resonate fully for everyone, and they won't resonate fully for everyone. So do please remember to take what does resonate and helps your personal situation and leave what does not. Any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading or coaching session with me is in the description box below. All right, Scorpio, as you can see, we're doing things a little bit different with this round of readings. I haven't pulled any cards ahead of time like I usually do, so we're going to start with looking at your recent past energy to see what you have been dealing with. This is for Scorpio's recent past. What has Scorpio been dealing with? Show the world the real you, and luck is on your side. I like this energy because this kind of feels like this energy of not holding back, trying to step into your authenticity, showing up, as you are, basically like not taking any BS. That's kind of what I feel this is about, like standing up for the way that you feel. And I feel like that has kind of turned some energy in your favor here, almost as if like you maybe started to kind of step into this energy of demanding that you, or really just showing the universe that you deserve more. And it's almost as if the universe is starting to meet you there. Now, you might not, because underneath this, you have a time to give rather than take. So you might not see the positive changes from this yet in your energy. But I feel like this is like starting to shift things in that direction. So where is Scorpio at right now? This is Scorpio's current energy. You're very close to achieving your goal and you are good enough. So I feel like this is kind of stepping into this, newer, it feels like a new energy, maybe a new path, a new relationship, a new opportunity of sorts. And I feel like whatever goal you have, maybe it's creating an opportunity, I feel like, as it says, like you're very close to achieving that goal, but needing to work through maybe the frustration of it not happening as quickly as you would like or in the way that you thought it would. Maybe your self-worth is kind of being tested here, meaning really needing to believe that you are good enough for whatever it is that you desire. Because I do feel as if you have, this is a very optimistic energy so far. Like I do feel as if the wheel is starting to turn in your favor. And I feel like it's almost as if this opens you up to some changes that you've maybe been waiting on for a while. So what does Scorpio need to know about their future energy? A new start is coming and a fiery climax approaches. I feel like this is, it's like it just kind of happens. It's like an explosion of goodness. That's kind of what this feels like. It's like a surprise party. Like the universe is like, surprise, I don't know, but I feel like this has been very long awaited. And I think that you've been showing up in this energy of maybe choosing yourself, choosing to believe that you're deserving of more. And I think that this is like this energy of you're doing it. Like you are creating it, you're manifesting it. Now, this new start, I feel is like with this a fiery climax approaches, I feel like it's very intense in a way. Not in a bad way. I don't know. I just feel as if it's very, intense. That's the best way I can describe that. But we'll see what tarot has to say here. So let's see what you have been dealing with here, Scorpio. Let's get a little bit of clarity on this overall energy. Looking at show the world the real you. Past energy for Scorpio. What has Scorpio been dealing with here? And remember, this is just overall energy, so we're going to dive deeper and deeper into these messages here. I feel like this is this energy of like deciding to make a change. Yeah, with this Hierophant, the Sun in reverse and the Hierophant. It's like, I feel like you were in maybe, I don't know, like an unhappy relationship or an unhappy job, or maybe your life wasn't as fulfilling or abundant as you desired. And I feel like with this Show the World the Real You, it's like this is this energy of stepping into like, I'm gonna make a change, like I'm gonna do things differently, almost like getting tired of the way that things were, and deciding to create different for yourself. And I think that with this Hierophant energy, because this is like a new perspective, like almost like deeper wisdom, if you will. So I feel like you're approaching whatever this is from this place of it's like a new you, like a heightened level of awakening, or a higher perspective or something. And it kind of feels like maybe you were pushed into making these changes. Maybe you didn't want to, but they ended up being like good in the end. But let's see, current energy here for you, Scorpio. You're very close to achieving your goal. I don't know what your goal is, but you're close. What was that card that just fell off? The Knight of Cups in reverse. We will, it'll come out if it needs to. I don't feel like it meant to come out here. The Ace of Swords. This is an energy of a breakthrough. And then the Eight of Wands. There's a breakthrough heading toward you, almost like a light bulb moment, a moment of clarity. I don't know if it's like an idea, an inspiration, a path that opens up or something. Okay, I feel like I'm speaking to a Scorpio collective that is like really doing some manifestation, like really doing some personal work, really addressing the issues in their life and like trying to make changes, and they feel like you are doing it. Now, you might be frustrated because you're like, well, I have been doing these things, but maybe you don't feel any different, or you're not where you want to be yet. But I feel like that's why this kind of feels like a motivation reading, almost as if Spirit is like, keep going, like keep doing it, keep trusting the process here, because whatever it is, like this new start that you're looking for, maybe it's in love, in your financial situation, it's like, it's coming for you. I mean, especially seeing that Eight of Wands. Does Scorpio need to know about this future energy? Ooh. The Devil. Six of Pentacles. No, this is so good. Okay. One of the hardest things to do on a growth journey, spiritual journey, healing journey, whatever you want to call it, is to address our own kind of toxic ways, whether it's our unhealthy habits or patterns or decision making or whatever the case is. And I feel, and this is why I feel like I'm speaking to a Scorpio collective that has really been addressing these things in themselves. And it's almost as if this new start is like a reward for the work that you've done, like rewards for the work that you've done on yourself. Almost as if like, whatever is coming, like you've really earned it. You've really earned it. And you've earned it because I feel like you've been, it's like really trying to change or make better decisions. But it's interesting because there's a breakthrough in your current energy. Maybe you've had it, maybe you haven't. I don't know. This is just overall energy. We're going to start, there's more to this for sure. But let's get the overall theme here. What does Scorpio need to know in order to move forward in alignment with their higher self? It's like rewards for your hard work, rewards for the work you've done on yourself, rewards for making difficult choices or difficult changes. Overall theme of this reading for Scorpio. And you need to know that, like, the universe is really cheering you on here. And whatever this is. Empowerment. I just saw that in the Cancer reading. I promise these cards have been shuffled. I just feel like this is really a time of stepping into our power. I wanted to see if there was anything else. Vulnerability. And then there's breakthrough. Contemplation. Breakthrough. So yeah, there is a breakthrough. It's almost as if the breakthrough is kind of you realizing that you have more control over, like, your happiness and your abundance than you think that you do. But it's not about what's going on outside of you. It's about what's going on within you. So I feel like this empowerment energy here is very much about you stepping into your power to create change, your power to make healthy decisions, your power to choose yourself, to set boundaries, to, like I said, like, make the hard decisions. Now with this vulnerability card, I feel like it's required you to work through a lot of probably pretty uncomfortable emotions. Because any kind of change is scary and hard, even if it's a change that's good for you, even if it means, like, kind of letting go of old habits or unhealthy, patterns. Like, even if it's for the best, it's still really difficult. And it requires you to really be vulnerable with yourself and with others, to say, I recognize that these things are going against what it is that I really deserve. Because it's not about criticizing yourself into change, right? It's not saying, wow, I'm so dumb and stupid and bad for all these things that I was doing. It's about saying, I love myself enough to recognize that I deserve better, that I deserve to treat myself better, that I deserve to be treated better by others. And that's what, like, I kind of got this energy with this past of, like, no longer putting up with BS. Maybe it's your own BS. Maybe it's the BS of others. Maybe you just kind of got to this place where you're like, enough is enough. But I feel like you did. And I think that you're really taking charge of your life here. And it's really cool. It's really cool to see energetically, at least. So I think that it's certainly got to be cool to experience. Now, again, you may not see the payoff yet, and sometimes that can be the hardest part, but I do think that will come. So let's dive a little bit deeper into this story here, Scorpio. Let's start by looking at this past energy. You have Show the World the Real You with the Sun in reverse. This could be an energy, too, of, like, being in places and situations and friendships that, like, didn't really align with your authenticity, or aligned more with, like, a person that you were pretending to be or that you thought you needed to be but didn't really align with, like, you. Maybe being in places that required you to shrink yourself, and almost getting to a point where you're like, I'm not going to do that anymore. It's like no more playing it small kind of energy. Well, there's the Tower. But this was you created this Tower. Now, what I mean by that is not like, this is your fault. What I mean by that is I feel like you made some sort of a decision here that led to a Tower, a relationship ending, a job ending. I don't know. Those are usually the first two examples I give, but it could be anything here. The King of Cups, which I feel like this is you, Scorpio, showing up both as the King of Cups and as the Queen of Pentacles. And why I think that's you is I feel like this Queen of Pentacles is like this almost like, I don't know if it was that you were wearing a mask, or you were pretending to be someone different than you were, or you were trying to be something different than you were in order to fit in or to be safe or secure, or whatever the case is. But it's almost like what I see this as is like just you getting to this place of just being like, I can't take this anymore. Like, I know this isn't, I know I'm not happy. I know this isn't where I want to be. And like deciding to put a stop to it. Like, this is like, enough is enough. I'm over this. I'm done with this. I don't want to deal with this anymore. I'm changing. Like, I'm going to make these changes. And I think that, sometimes we don't realize that the universe puts us in certain situations to get us to that point. So sometimes, I think it's really easy to look back and really have a lot of guilt and shame for maybe who we used to be, or the behaviors that we used to have, or the things that we used to do or accept. Like, I think sometimes it can be kind of hard to be like, I can't believe I used to accept that kind of treatment. But what you have to understand is that sometimes we have to accept less than what we deserve to realize that we deserve more. So this isn't about looking at this from this place of like, wow, I wasted all my time, or I shouldn't have, I regret ever doing those things or anything like that, because what that means that you're kind of missing out on the fact that if you wouldn't know now what you do know if you hadn't have gone through what you did. And I think that, this Eight of Pentacles, it definitely shows that you've put a lot of work in and have been putting a lot of work in. And I think that that deserves to be celebrated. And I think that as you're kind of stepping into this new energy, because I feel like you are stepping into like a whole new maybe version of you, or a new life in some way. And again, it's kind of this energy of taking charge. And I think that can come with a lot of highs and lows. Some days you're going to feel like things are great, and other days you're going to be like, what am I doing? This is so scary and overwhelming, and blah, blah, blah. And all those feelings and emotions are going to arise, and that's totally normal and natural. But I think that this tower needed to happen. I think that you kind of, it's like, I don't know if you put your foot down or what, it's like, but whatever decision that you made here, I feel like it really is leading to kind of this domino effect of positive changes in your life that are going to ultimately pay off in the end. So I think that this is, from what I can tell, a very optimistic reading so far. I think that it, I feel like how it hits and like how it resonates with you is going to depend on like where you're at in your journey. Maybe you're at the contemplation phase of making changes, and this is just kind of showing you how freeing and how much it can pay off when you do make changes, or when you do kind of put your foot down. Or maybe you've been doing it, but you're starting to wonder if it's worth it. And it's just like I said, kind of that motivation to keep going and keep trusting yourself and trusting the process, because I feel like whatever, this, I don't know if it was a life, a situation, a relationship that you were dealing with in the past, I feel like it required you to abandon yourself, to abandon your love for yourself, your respect for yourself, your needs, and sometimes we do that when we feel that we have to do that in order to stay safe. So it's not saying that, because I think we have a tendency to look at our unhealthy patterns and behaviors from this place of like disgust almost, shame and guilt. But sometimes we have to try to shift our perspective and understand that the things that we've done, the mistakes that we've made, that was merely a version of us that was just trying to be safe, that was trying to be loved, that was just trying to survive. And we're not expected to be perfect. There's no handbook on how to do this, right? So I think that giving yourself a little bit of grace right now is really important too, especially if you are making quite a bit of change to kind of yourself internally. All right, current energy for Scorpio. You're very close to achieving your goal with the Ace of Swords. So what is this breakthrough about? For Scorpio. Current energy for Scorpio, please. I like when the cards turn all the way around or hit the table or my lap. There's the Hierophant. So this is like an awakening of sorts. The Star. Okay, turning all the way around or hitting the table. Nine of Wands. Scorpio, you are getting out of your own way, and I am so here for it. This is such an optimistic reading. Okay, you have the Hierophant, the Star, and the Nine of Wands. So this is a very inspired energy, like inspired to make changes, inspired to do better for yourself. And this Hierophant is almost like you're in this phase of learning, like maybe learning a lot about yourself, about your spiritual connection, about how the universe works, about how, like, what you need and how to prioritize that. I don't know. I feel like you're learning a lot right now. And I feel like this is really leading you to make better decisions for yourself as you move forward, whether it comes to better decisions in your relationships, again, setting stronger boundaries or speaking up for yourself, or choosing to, take risks to believe that you are supported in creating your highest good, whatever the case might be. And I feel like with this star here, it's almost like, I don't know, it's a very bright, very inspired energy. And this Nine of Wands, it just feels like this is you kind of like getting, like I said, getting out of your own way, making very positive changes, making decisions that are probably pretty difficult. And it's like it's all leading you to this breakthrough. Maybe it's a breakthrough that leads to deeper, like, inner peace or stronger faith in a spiritual connection of your own understanding, or I don't know, but that's what leads to this new beginning. So right now, you're kind of in a learning phase, if you will. There's a lot to be learned through this process that you're going through right now. But man, you are so supported and so guided spiritually. And it's really important for you to know that, because I feel like when we go through change, it leaves a lot of room for our doubt to appear, and our fear to appear, and our insecurities to show up. And if we're not careful, we can slip into a perspective where our doubt, fear, and insecurities become the primary storyteller of our reality, and we start to believe our doubt, fear, and insecurities, when in reality, our doubt, fear, and insecurities are not truths. There are things that need to be addressed and healed, and they're valid and understandable, and they make you human, but we don't want to let those make decisions for us. And sometimes the hardest part of change, of choosing better for yourself, is actually sustaining that, especially letting go of bad habits or old, dynamics and relationships that aren't serving you. One of the hardest parts of it is it's easy when you're in the midst of anger and frustration and you're like, man, I've had enough. It's not so easy when you create some distance between how things used to be and where you're at now. And you're struggling, maybe you're like, well, I just feel like what I desire is still so far out of reach. Like, those thoughts of like, well, should I just go back to old ways, or should I go back to old patterns? Like, that's going to start to creep in. And I feel like that's why this feels very much like a motivational reading from Spirit, to say, like, keep going, keep moving forward, keep showing up better, and you will see it pay off. Because you are obviously headed towards a new beginning. You're obviously, there's the Five of Swords is kind of covering up this Fool right now. So maybe we're struggling a little bit with faith or trusting in, a spiritual connection of our own understanding, trusting in the universe. And that's natural. That's completely understandable. Faith is not the absence of doubt. Faith is choosing to believe despite the doubt, right? So you're allowed to doubt, you're allowed to second guess, you're allowed to, do all of those things that your fear and insecurity wants you to do, but you don't have to choose to make decisions based on those things. That's the key. I think a lot of people think that, faith is the absence of doubt and peace is the absence of worry, but it's not. It's recognizing that there will always be reasons to doubt. There will always be reasons to worry. There will always be things that are out of your control. But there are just as many reasons to have faith. There are just as many reasons to believe that things are working out for you. There are just as many reasons to believe that everything's going to be okay. And I feel like this is about leaning into the good right now. Because, I don't know, it kind of feels like you're on a roll here, Scorpio. And I feel like this is kind of like allowing yourself to choose to lean into that momentum, but also understand that the sustaining positive changes in your life is about doing it when it's hard. It's easy, again, on those days where you feel like you're on top of the world. It's not so easy on those days where it feels like everything kind of sucks a little bit. And those days are going to happen. They're going to come. But especially on those days, choosing to believe that you deserve better, I think, is going to take you to some really cool places. So this is a pretty cool reading. For me to see. It makes me really, really happy for you guys. But let's see here, Scorpio. You have a new start is coming with the Six of Pentacles. This is like rewards. Like, keep going. The rewards are coming. Like, that's what I feel. All right. What does Scorpio need to know about this future energy? The Temperance. Patience pays off. Turning all the way around or hitting the table. There's the King of Pentacles. Oh, what is it? It's like from the 3D to the 5D. The Knight of Swords. Goodness sakes. There's that devil that we saw. Okay. So here's the hard part. Is when we're breaking out of an old way of living, an old way of thinking, an old way of believing. Like we kind of talked about in your current energy, there's going to be periods where that doubt is going to creep up, where those, old habits and old cycles are going to be presented to us in our life. And as long as we choose to, it's like, what's a good way of saying that? It's like choosing to stand by yourself, almost. Like, I think sometimes, and I've certainly experienced this in my life, it's like when you get far enough away from a situation, you start to then get maybe a little bit nostalgic, and you look at the past through rose-colored glasses, and you start to wonder if things were better back then because you're not where you want to be yet. And I think that it can be easy to kind of slip back into old ways, and there's nothing wrong with that. We will slip into old patterns and behaviors as many times as we need to until we realize that that's not going to get us to where we want to go. But I feel like this is about charging forward. Like, especially with this Knight of Swords, this is about putting your head down and, like, I don't know if it's doing the work or just like almost putting these blinders on and just going, I'm going this way. I'm going the way of faith. I'm going the way of choosing to create a better life for myself. And like, you're going to have those temptations and those things that are going to go, well, what if you go back to this relationship? Or what if, maybe this isn't working out and you should just give up? Like, those things are going to creep into your mind. But again, it's like putting on the blinders and saying, I hear you. I'm not going to listen to that, though. And it's almost like with this King of Pentacles, because the King of Pentacles often to me is like the materialization from the 3D to the 5D. So it's like, we create the life that we deserve by showing up for it before it exists, before it appears. And that means choosing to believe that we're deserving of better, not settling for anything less than what we deserve, showing up for the version of ourselves that we need to become in order to create the life that we desire, and really like almost being relentless in our pursuit of better. And again, it's easy to do that when it feels like things are going well. It's not so easy to do that whenever we do kind of hit bumps in the roads. But the more that you can really kind of double down on choosing to create better for yourself, I feel like it's like your patience is going to pay off. It's going to trickle down in the 5D. This is about charging forward here, Scorpio. And I think that it's I don't know. It's really cool. I think this is a cool. If this is your collective's reading, then I think that you are in a really cool phase in your life right now. And I think you're closer than you think to where you want to be. You might not see how, but with you're very close to achieving your goal, and then a new start is coming. Like, I do think that you're closer than you think. And I think that, like, faith in the universe is always rewarded. It's just that we want that faith in the universe or in a spiritual connection of our own understanding to be rewarded immediately, but that's not how faith works. It's, there is a time delay between the energy we put out and the energy that we receive, and sometimes we have to show up in that faith time and time and time again before it makes sense and before we start to receive the benefits of it. So I just don't know. It's like, keep going, the rewards will come. I think that, this is like, you got a whole cheering section here in your spiritual team, and I think that they want nothing but the best for you. So know that you are fully supported in this. All right, Scorpio, I am going to hop on over to the extended. This is looking at what you can do right now to ensure you're moving forward in alignment with your higher self. And then I have an advice card to pull from your spiritual team at the very end. Thank you so much, Scorpio, as always, for your support of my channel. I do hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. And as always, I wish you nothing but love and healing and all of the wonderful things that you deserve and desire on your journey moving forward. All right, bye, Scorpio.